Hey, welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot cover call video. Well, hey, look, I'm back behind the mic, fired up. That last video, we had a great chance to be in the great state of Oregon, back in Ben. I'll tell you what, absolutely love me some Ben. After the 9 to 5, I might call it home. But we're back here in the great state of California, back behind the mic. I'm fired up. I'm going to show you about 3 things today. So if you're one of those that wants to jump to the trade and you don't want to hear all this, yeah, get down the road probably about the 12-minute mark. But with that said, I have some great stuff on the front end here. You're going to love it. So let's get to it. Look, what I do is I come here every single week, show you a timely and relevant covered call trade so it ups your game. Maybe it gives you confidence. Right? You're out there thinking you can't generate cash flow. You need cash flow. Well, I'm here to help you with that because I generate cash flow, and it can be as simple as learning the skill, getting your experience, doing some trades, and next thing you know, you don't need me. That's how it started for me. Over 6 years ago, I did my very first trade, very apprehensive. Right? For me, this was rocket science. This was something that I thought I was learning a different language. Didn't take but about 3 or 4 trades, and next thing you know, I mastered the skill. Now, there's a very simple process to sell premium to generate cash flow, but to become a skilled trader, you have to know all the other good stuff. So today, we're going to talk about some of that good stuff, okay? I have 2 trades for you, and I'm going to show you something that's very near and dear to my heart. So let's go ahead and get to this. I do apologize in advance if this video goes a bit longer than the others. Hey, look, you're either going to stick with me or you're not. But what I want you to do, I want you to get motivated and inspired in life and do great things. That's the key here, because money is a heartless, soulless piece of paper, right? We want to go out and be inspired and motivated so we can then do great things for others. So with that said, let's talk about this. If you've never been to my channel and you like what you're hearing, I want you to subscribe to the channel. It's right there and it's free. I come back every week, show you how I generate thousands of dollars a year putting cash flow on my table. Hey, look, if you like the video today, bang that like button. It lets me know you like what I'm doing. Now, what we're doing is this. We're talking about motivation and inspiration here for the first couple minutes here. One of the things that is near and dear to my heart is being motivated and inspiring others. When I come to the channel here and I show you a trade, we talk about it, I really want to inspire those that are sitting on the bench. You see everybody else making money and you're sitting there thinking, can you? Well, I don't know if you can or not, but what I know is this. If you don't try, if you don't get your education and try this, you're never going to be able to say you had success. Now, we need to be inspired and motivated because the stock market isn't like sports, right? Where we have these allegiances. It's in our blood. It's in our fabric, right? The stock market can be very boring, and it's very easy to not stay the course. Well, for me, it's absolutely a passion, hobby. It's actually ingrained in my system. I've been doing this now since way back in the Navy, and I think that's some 35 years ago. This has been a long journey of success and failure. For me, it's about being motivated and inspired. Now, one of the things I love to do is share my talent, and I truly believe I've been given a talent to express myself in a way that might inspire others. Now, if you go to my Facebook page and you see it right there, John Greathouse, if you friend me, you actually get to see behind the scenes. You get to see the real John actually living life, trying to inspire others. Now, what I always try to do is be uplifting and motivating. And to give you a little inside baseball, the guy you see on Facebook, I actually inspire to be that guy. That guy is my gym buddy. He's the guy that is successful, and I want to be like him. I'll tell you what, I know that sounds odd, but you have to have mentors and motivators. Okay? Otherwise, you'll just find yourself in a rut all the time. I am never in a rut. I am always trying to reach higher. I tell you all the time that if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get out of that room. You need to find the people in your life that's going to inspire you. And look, age is just a number. Okay, you know I'm turning 55 this year. You know I'm walking into retirement. That is not the end of me. Okay, that's only the beginning of more great opportunities to live a successful, great life where other people might be motivated and inspired by what I do. So I want you to go over to my Facebook page. You're going to see a lot of this workout stuff because that's my grind. I used to weigh over 225 pounds, not healthy. I went ahead and entered a Biggest Loser competition with my daughter, and I lost 40 some pounds. But really what that did, that really changed my mindset and lifestyle. And then I wanted to keep losing weight, but then I just realized it became part of my fabric. Right? Working out and trying to be healthy became woven into the fabric of John. And now it just becomes a part of my daily routine. Now, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow, but what I'm going to tell you is this. I will not be that guy that says he died not trying. Okay? I'm always trying to better myself. And that's why I come back every week here, because I want to try to inspire you and motivate you and give you those ups you need and share my talent. I've seen every possible trade, and now it's time to talk about those trades because I know some of you are in the very same situation. So go over to Facebook and friend my page. Would love for you to see my journey. So we're going to talk about a trade that I'm actually going to surprise many of you. You know my story with Rocket. If you watched my very last video, you know I am tied to the hip with Rocket. Well, a couple things have happened and I'm not any longer. Okay, so Rocket was one of those stocks over 2 years ago. I decided to do a cash secure put. I was going to generate $1,000 a month. In fact, I was going to do $2,000 a month. I felt so confident with where it was trading. And over the past 2 years, I was able to generate over $30,000 using Rocket just to generate little 25-cent crumbs. Now, I'm able to do that because at the time I bought over 4,000 shares. So every time I did a cover call, we were pocketing close to $800, $900. Okay, and we did that every single month. Well, this last trade, I think I bit off a little more than I can chew. I picked a strike price that maybe I shouldn't have. Well, here we are. Fast forward, it closed above my strike price. I was dancing a little bit. I saw no company news, nothing that I saw would have a call buyer slip in and take my shares at $9. Well, I woke up Friday morning and 2,500 shares were taken. I didn't act on this like I said in the last video. I was going to play a little dodgeball and it didn't work out for me. What ends up happening is 2,500 shares were taken off the board. So now I'm left with 1,500 shares. I'm sitting there with 15 contracts still open. I have to make a decision. Do I buy this back and keep those 1,500 shares live? Well, I decided not to. Now, this is great because before this happens, I get an email from a member and they were asking me this question. And you can see they have been rolling with Rocket for over a year and a half. They had accumulated 2,000 shares. Now, they got assigned early and they wanted to know what they can do going forward. Just wanted to float an idea past me. So this is what I did. Because I'm in the same situation at this point, I'm not early assigned, but if I don't take action, I will be. So I started to think about it and I start to break it down. What are my options, right? It's easy to come in and say, okay, I'm going to buy the option back, add all of that money to the cost basis, and then try to roll for another credit. But sometimes that isn't the best idea. Rocket Mortgage had moved some $1.50. So I'm in a bad spot because think about this for a second. Let me go to the charts and I'm going to show you what I was seeing and why I made my decision not to keep these shares. Okay, so I think for a lot of you folks that look at the charts, you can kind of see what I'm seeing here. Rocket has made such a move that it's now testing resistance. You see that line there? That's resistance. And Rocket has to break this to break out, possibly to $12. But notice what it's doing here. It seems to be plateauing, making new highs, but look at how it's plateauing here and it's actually drifting, right? This thing has not continued to move higher. It's sort of plateauing. Now it seems to be drifting lower. Now it hasn't done that yet. And this coming week will really prove whether this makes a run at that resistance line and breaks resistance and stays above it for over 3 days. Then that potentially become new support. Okay. Well, here's the problem. If I buy this option back, remember it's a $9 strike. It's now trading at $9.60. So you know that I have to pay 60 cents for this option. Now I was paid 15 cents. Now the delta on this particular trade when I started it back here was like 20. I mean, I had no expectations this stock would get to the strike price at expiration. I now know my problem here. The problem is I extended this out a 5th week, right? We usually do the 30-day, and the 30-day usually is about 4 weeks to 5 weeks. This was extended past that, and sure enough, given that little bit of time, it worked its way to where it's at 960. If you remember last week, if you remember Rocket's trading pattern last week, it got as low as 914. Almost could have bought it back, washed my hands, losing a month worth of income, and move on. Well, I didn't, because I figured it had made this run. This was going to cool off. Well, that's problem number 1. That didn't happen. Now, problem number 2 is this. Everybody's saying, look, you need to roll. Problem is, I'm going to add 60 cents to this trade. I want you to do the math. 4,000 shares, 60 cents. I did get paid 15 cents, so we're going to subtract that. But this trade is going to add some $1,800 to the cost basis. And at this point, here's where so many people make a mistake. They tie themselves to stocks. Now, I told you I've been tied at the hip with Rocket as long as the trade has been good, meaning I'm able to generate close to $1,000 a month on a stock that I'm down over 50%. Now, again, if you've been with me, you know a stock's current value in the portfolio means nothing to me. Can it generate cash flow month over month? And Rocket has done that for me. Problem is, if I take on this $1,800 debit to continue this trade, what's going to happen here is this. I don't believe Rocket breaks through, and I do believe it's going to peel off. I add all of this cost basis, and quite frankly, I'm in a spot. I'm in a spot where I'm ponying up $1,800 of real money. It isn't like the value of the stock has fallen, and that's a paper loss. I'm actually going to have to pony up $1,800, crisp $100 to close out this trade. Now, you know I'm not going to be able to get that money back in the next trade. I'm going to probably have to take 3 months to break even here, and I can't do that. So what we're going to do here is this. As the stock is working its way on the day of expiration, I'm just going to see where it goes. Now, if it falls under my strike price, of course I'm going to buy it back. If it falls such that I'm able to buy it back for a profit, I will, or even break even. Well, it didn't happen. So what happens on Friday is kind of shocking. There's no company news, and I don't see a single reason why a call buyer would have taken my shares. But sure enough, we wake up and guess what? We do not have 2,500 shares in the account anymore. Now I'm left with 15 contracts, and I could clearly buy these back, but I decided it's over. This trade is over. We are going to collect the cash from these shares, $9. We have lost 50% of the value, but we're going to pocket the near-term covered call income because we have to pay the bills. Now we're going to reboot. Now we don't have that, we don't have 4,000 shares of Rocket at $18. We now have 4,000 shares at $9. Now, I can't sit here and mope, right? I can't sit here and mope and coil up in the fetal position. I have to now make that money work for me, okay? Remember, stocks are nothing more than tools in our toolkit, okay? You have to use them to get the job done. Now, I've lost a lot of stock value in this trade. And a lot of people say, look, man, you lost 50% of your money. But do understand this. When you sell premium, you are actually pocketing insurance money along the way. And over 2 years, I have generated over $30,000 using this stock. Now, I don't have that money because that money paid the bills, right? You get the theme by now. Okay, I don't pocket the money. I don't double down and reinvest. We take the money and pay the bills because that's what we have to do. That's why we're doing this. Now, I'm down 50% on the stock sale. That doesn't change the plan. Now what I'm going to do is this. Let's go back to that member's email and let's break down exactly my options here. Now, this is a membership that I have and I've had over 2 years and absolutely love to share my experiences. You get to see the world through my eyes. Right now, if you're out there drifting and you're wondering how other traders are handling this, Being a member, you absolutely see what I do. I'm going to show you a trade here in a minute, what I did with 3M. This is what my membership is about. You get access to all the tools, the videos. You see every single trade in and out. And of course, you see my monthly recaps. And of course, you get these random weekly emails that I usually try to send every day. So I had a member ask me a question. And oh, by the way, that's part of the membership as well. You have access to me. You have access to me. You email me, you get an email back. We talk about it. I show you the world through my eyes. And in this case, had a great question. Member asked me about his situation with Rocket and where he's at and do I have any thoughts? Well, of course, I broke it down the best way I could, talking about the options we have. No pun. We have the ability to do a couple things. Now remember, this video is before I decide not to keep my Rocket shares. So let's keep this in context. So right now we have a deal where if I were to take the money, if I take the money that Rocket has given me now and I buy Rocket shares, I'm going to have a wash sale. Now I'm not an accountant and I'm not a tax attorney. Google wash sale and understand why I can't touch Rocket Mortgage or a similar like company for 31 days, at least 31 days. I need to use this Rocket loss for my taxes this year. And we're going to do that. So number one, the sell of the stock functions as a couple things. I get fresh cash to use another stock. I also have an opportunity to use this loss for tax harvesting. Okay, we generate thousands of dollars with no tax write-offs. This becomes a tax write-off. So I have to avoid a wash sale. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and not look at Rocket for the next 31 days. Now, with that said, we have other things. We can do things here. If I did want to get involved with Rocket, I could do a put. I could actually do puts and never be assigned the shares. So what happens there is I never take ownership, so there's no wash sale. Now, if you know something I don't, let me know in the comments. We're doing a put, and if I keep rolling the put and I'm never assigned the shares, we avoid that wash sale. Now, we can do that put, or we can use some cash, and we can also do a put. Meaning, we could use some cash to some shares, write a covered call. We could take the other half of that cash and do a put. We play both sides of it, okay? So if the stock were to fall, we get the near-term cash from the covered call. But if the stock goes higher, we keep the cash from the near-term put. We can kind of play this on both sides. Absolutely love when we can have the ability to wiggle our way out of a bad trade. See, the buy and hold investor doesn't have that. They buy the stock, they hold it. They hope it goes higher, they hope it goes their way. They hope it goes higher. If it goes lower, the only thing they can do is use their cash to dollar cost average down. They still need to hope it goes higher, but we premium sellers generate cash flow whether the stock goes up or down. And we do this every 30 days, so we are outpacing the buy and hold investor every single time. And I know some of you say, well, I bought Amazon at $5 and it's now trading for $3,000. Well, good for you. Because I know many people that bought 3M at $250 and they are absolutely kicked in the ribs with it trading at $130. Okay? So let's not get in the bush with coulda, woulda, shoulda. What we do here is we talk about generating income, real money that gets put on the table. I have those same stocks and I'm up 100%, 200%, but I can't bag those as wins. Those were just great picks. This is real work and this is real success. And what I did is also talked about the poor man's covered call here. We could actually take the money. Remember, I'm down by half. Okay, I could take the money now. If I really felt confident, I could buy some leaps. We can do the same thing, but we're using the poor man's covered call instead. And because I'm so confident, and I'm not advising you to do this because you're not as confident, I feel so confident I could take the entire money just was given from that sale and buy leaps with it. And I bet you I can get a leap for about $4, doubling my share count. Wouldn't surprise me if I could pick up 80 contracts on my next covered call. I'll tell you what, that is intriguing. You want to stick around because I am going to show you what I do with this Rocket money. Now let's go over to that 3M trade that I absolutely need you to watch because it usually snaps off people. But John's got his spidey senses on. He knows what's coming. So look, if you want to be a part of my membership, I give you one free month. Go over to ctpdashboard.com, click upgraded dashboard. I give you one free month, man. There is so much value in this. It's unbelievable. And hey, look, at the end of the day, just go to my website and download all the free spreadsheets. I don't charge you for nothing. I don't spam you. Okay? cptdashboard.com, click upgraded dashboard. Would love to welcome you aboard. And here's that 3M trade. Absolutely love you guys sticking around to this very final trade because this is a good one. Because a couple things are happening with 3M that I need to know about. And trust me, we have all been caught off guard by this. Now, 3M, as you know, is one that I use all the time. I always love having a little 3M in the portfolio. It trades in such a range, I could really bank on it. Well, just like every other stock, 3M has found itself seriously down. But notice how 3M finds its footing, and it always trades sideways to higher. Doesn't jump off the chart like all those other stocks. So this is a great opportunity to use the ebbs and flows of 3M to generate decent covered call income trades, right? Cash flow trades using a great S&P type company. Now, this is what I sent to the members. This trade has risks. Now, what do I mean by that? The stock has made a serious push higher, just like everything else. There's a thought that inflation might be under control with the Fed doing what it does. So, of course, 3M being affected by inflation heavily, this has moved the stock higher because obviously it expands their profit margins, right? So at this point, it's one of these games. How far will it run? Okay, that's the deal here. Well, I'm sitting here thinking, what else keeps people in 3M? Well, I'll tell you what keeps people in 3M. It's their big fat dividend. Okay, I think it's about $1.50. And that dividend is like a magnet. Okay, it's like a magnet to investors. They want a piece of that action. Right? Imagine you own 1,000 shares and all you have to do is hold it through the X date and you collect over $1,500 in income. Okay, so people love that dividend. Well, if I write a covered call knowing the dividend is right here, okay, I have to be careful. The dividend's right here. So if I don't pick a strike price that works, I can easily find this stock in a zone, in a danger zone. And what I try to tell people is this: you have to figure, this is where I want you to really focus, okay? Imagine 3M is trading for $100 and you wrote a covered call, let's say a $5 higher strike. You give somebody the right but not the obligation to take your 3M shares away from you at 105. Stock's trading at 100. There's a dividend right near your expiration. So now as the stock is going higher, let's start to do some math. When does it make it profitable for the call buyer to take your shares? But more importantly, when does it make it profitable for the market maker to take your shares? Okay, a lot of people don't see the market maker side of this. There's a person there that can make money by taking your shares and then selling those shares. And they have no cost. The call buyer has cost. See, when they paid me to hold my shares to 105, they may have paid me $3. Okay, so that's a real cost to them. They have to clear $3 in stock move and dividend just to even think about taking my shares. It doesn't become profitable if it doesn't. So 3M can get in sort of a danger zone where although the call buyer would be losing money, market maker does not. Now, this is very rare. But if the stock goes above 105, you know the market maker executes that trade. So you have to take action. But because of that $1.50 dividend, you have to factor that in because if somebody takes possession of the shares, they're going to collect the $1.50. So it's time to open up your thinking here. Really, I need to be concerned once the stock gets to 103.50, okay? Because the $1.50 dividend becomes a profit center for them. So this is critical. When I write this covered call, right? I do this covered call knowing that I better pick a strike price where I don't think it's going to get to the strike price. And that's what I did here. In a very unique move for me, when the stock's trading for 141X, I sold the 47 strike. Okay, that turns out to be above 4%. So 3M is going to have to make a 4% run basically in a couple weeks because the ex-dividend date based on history is right around August 12th. So they haven't declared the date yet, but looking at past history, it's around August 12th. So I have to assume that's when it's going to hit. I need to pick a strike price for which the stock will not be at the strike around the X date, not the expire date, the X date. Because if it makes sense to take my shares and for them to collect the dividend, they'll do it. And if they don't do it, the market maker will. So it's very important to keep these things, right? These things in perspective when you're placing your trades. Now, I'm going to dance with this particular cover call. This one expires before their earnings, so we don't have to worry about earning. But I have to understand that a big, fat dividend is happening between now and then. And if this stock makes a move, they're going to snatch my shares. And in this case, I can't have my shares taken away. Why? My cost basis is 160. Cannot have my shares taken away for 147 because that would be a losing trade. And I even show the members here exactly what happens if my shares are taken away. So if you're interested in any of this, you want to be a part of any of this, I got the 1 free month for you. Sign up. You can come on board monthly. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, bring you on board, show you what I do, see the world through my eyes. Now, next week's video is going to be about Rocket. I'm going to show you exactly what I do with all that money. So I want you to stick around, come back, subscribe to the channel, and bang that like button. It lets me know you like what I'm doing. Hey, look, be safe, be healthy, most important, be lucky. Until next time, may all your covered calls be profitable.